There's a reason some tables laugh at everything, but never cry, never shake, never sit in that silence after a scene. Today, I want to talk about why your table needs to feel safe if you want these moments of silence or these truly epic, legendary moments. I'm Mike, the GM of Shared Legends, and today we're going to talk about how psychological safety can unlock the most powerful moments in your campaigns. Going back about 3 weeks ago, I had split the party, and three of the players were in an archive associated with memory and grief and loss. And one of the players had gotten trapped in a room. Um, the only way out was for them to give up a memory. The darkness of the room was filled with images from their life, from daughter's birth to marriage to spending time with his wife. I could feel the anxiety in the player, but a comment from one of the other players sitting outside was, I don't know what the hell's going on out there, but above table, my heart's breaking. Epic stories, epic little moments don't come from the shock content. They come from people feeling safe enough to be vulnerable, to feel that emotion, to feel those harder emotions, and to express them at the table. When we talk about psychological safety, I want to take a quick second to define what I mean by safe. When I say safe, I don't mean nothing bad ever happens, as you just heard. I mean that my players know that they can tap the brakes anytime without being judged. They also know that they won't be mocked or judged for an emotional reactions, for needing a break, or for saying this isn't for me. That's a little bit too far. Safety is when players can speak up about discomfort. They can opt out of topics and they can show real emotion without being made fun of. If people are guarded and uncomfortable, joking and laughing kind of becomes a self defense mechanism. If you can laugh it off, you don't actually feel it. When they feel that safety, the scenes hit them. That's when you know you're building a legend, not just memes. Safety isn't the opposite of intensity. It's what lets you earn that intensity. It earns you that gut wrench, that joy, that anxiety, that excitement, that fear. Without safety, your players can't feel that. I'm going to go through three practical things you can do this week in your games to help build that safety for the players that you have. First one is a mini session zero check-in. Even if your campaign is ongoing, you can still do mini session zeros, mini chats with your players. When I'm doing prep in the evenings, I'll often be in our Discord in voice, and the players will pop in and we'll chat. And simple, easy questions like, what do you want more of? What do you want less of? Is there anything coming that you're feeling resistance against or feeling a fight? And when I ask those questions, I'm not weakening the story. I'm sharpening it around what they actually want to feel together. Often these sessions I do aren't necessarily the entire group, but I'll have one-off conversations. And usually the sentiment is pretty similar across all of them, even when it comes to your exploring players' backstories. We all know the lists of safety tools available for tables. I think there's a place for all of them in them, but having just a simple one at your table, a simple tap out option. I have a very mature and group of players that is feels very safe and have been grown close and comfortable with each other through the 35-ish sessions we've been through together. They know it doesn't need to be an invisible card. They will stop something, or they will message me directly. They're very comfortable telling me when they're hitting up against something that's not quite sitting for them or not fun for them. Now, not everybody has that, and not everybody is as comfortable stepping out and saying that. So having that quick send me an X in private message, or a direct message in Discord that I'll be able to see, like something quick and easy to pump the brakes immediately when you need to. A third big one is a quick post-session debrief after heavy scenes. If we've just had something emotional or scary happen, I'll often take 2 minutes at the end, or a few minutes at the end, even right after the scene, to talk with the players, especially the ones whose player characters were actually directly affected. How is everyone feeling after that? Anything we need to rewind or handle differently next time? Was that the good kind of intense for you? Again, the group of players I have, I'm super lucky to have. They're all very mature. They understand the game of, like, we play D&D 5e. We've had one player death in the campaign, one permanent player death in the campaign, and he had his next character rolled up, ready to go within 20 minutes, even though wasn't going to get to him until next session after his previous character's funeral. And his new character was actually kind of a hilarious moment. His new character was a bard who played the bagpipes, and in canon now, Amazing Grace is canon in my in our D&D campaign. The tiny debriefs let players process and makes it clear that their well-being matters to you as a DM and as the other players, and they matter more than that plot twist. If you want legendary stories, start by making your table the kind of place where people feel safe to go deep, to be honest, and to experience the harder emotions. As I said at the beginning, everybody can laugh off something as an armor, as a self-defense mechanism, as a deflection to how the feelings that are coming up actually are. If you have a table that's safe, they can explore those harder emotions. So before your next session, try to come up with a plan to try just one of these. Ask those 3 quick questions in a quick session 0. Put a simple tap out rule on the table, or even do a 2-minute debrief after a big scene. Then come on back to me and tell me what changed at your table. If you want to know more about building safe, legendary players with legendary spaces for your players, hit subscribe and let me know what parts of safety and storycraft you want me to dive into next. Once again, thank you for taking the time to listen. I am Mike, the GM of Shared Legends, and I look forward to talking to you next time.